Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to share with you my top 5 books for basically getting you started on whether it's a spiritual journey, whatever journey you're on. If you're feeling a little bit lost, and you're never lost, but I often get people coming to me feeling as though they are and needing that support and guidance, and these are the 5 books that I recommend to people to read. And I've kind of created a little bit of an order for these books, but I want you to remember that you do not have to read them in that order, because I really believe that books come into your life when they're meant to come into your life. So if one comes into your life before the order that I've given you, you need to go for it, because that's the book that is meant to be in your life at that time. So this is just a really basic order, because I believe that each book kind of makes a nice leeway into the other, so it's a really good way to get started rather than going for the book that's just like way too full on, because you haven't set a foundation for yourself, and it might just completely go over your head because you weren't ready for it, because you hadn't set up this foundation. So that's why I've done it in this order. So I do often get people coming to me feeling as though they're just lost, they don't know where to start, they don't know where to begin, and this is why I've created this, because these are my top 5 books. These are the books that have really changed my life. These are the books that have really impacted me and made a difference in my life and really shaped me and given me the foundation that I have for the beliefs that I have. And yeah, I want to share them with you. So I'm going to start with my first book, and this is a book that I picked up when I was about 15 or 16 years old, and I've read it about 7 times, and it's still something I go to and basically flip to a page, read a sentence, just as a reminder. It will always be one of my spiritual Bibles, and I think it has been a book that has started so many people's spiritual journey. So that book is You Can Heal Your Life by Louise L. Hay. So this is a really old copy of the book. This is actually the original cover. There's so many different covers and editions that have come out of this book now. So yeah, yours might look a little bit different if you're in the shop, but you will, I guarantee you're going to find this in pretty much any bookstore you go into. It is a wildly popular book, and this is basically a really good place to start to get a foundation for learning how to cultivate self-love, learning how to believe in yourself, affirmations, really getting you started on affirmations and why they're important and how they work and how to say them, how to do them, and sharing Louise's story. So she really talks about her journey as well, and the end just blows my mind. When you read everything you've read throughout the whole book, and then she kind of tells you the ending, it's amazing. And she's someone that really inspires me. I saw her in a video once, I think she was turning 70, and she said it's going to be the best decade ever, and she was so excited about it, and it's just made me it inspired me in a way of, I'm never worried about getting older, because every year is going to be the best year ever. It always gets better. Every decade is going to be the best decade ever. So just having this complete mind shift and really positive outlook on life, I think that is what this book does for so many people, and it is really great at just shifting your mindset in such a beautiful, gentle, subtle way, and you will really love it. So if you're looking for somewhere to start, this is it. If you need to cultivate more self-love, if you need to cultivate self-belief, if you need to cultivate healing within yourself, whether that's physical or within your mindset, this is where you need to start. My second book I don't actually have a physical copy of, because I actually downloaded it on audio. It is a copy that I will go and buy a physical copy of this book, because I actually love to highlight books and go through and just note all the important parts that really stand out to me. But this book is called The Law of Attraction, and it's by Esther and Jerry Hicks / Abraham Hicks. I'm going to find a nice sweet little video clip off YouTube and link it for you below, just to give you a nice little leeway into Esther and Jerry and Abraham, so that you kind of know what you're in for. It is a channeled book, and I won't say much more than that, but it is incredible, and it is really about, it is a life-changing book, the art of manifestation, and how basically setting up that foundation for the thoughts we are thinking are creating our future. And it's another book that just blew my mind, and I would recommend, it's up to you whether you want to read it physically, or whether you want to have it as audio. I actually felt like I digested it a lot better through audio, I guess, because it can be quite, like, the language is different. So I felt like obviously I got through it so much quicker because it was in audio. I was able to listen to it in the car. I also loved walking along the beach and listening to it. I'm not really the kind of girl that can sit down on the couch and just listen to an audiobook, but definitely in the car or if I'm out walking. So it's still a book today that I'll kind of scroll to like 20 minutes in or 25 minutes in and just pick up wherever I need to and listen to the message for that day. So really incredible book. Whether you want to get that as a physical book or audio is totally up to you, but I seem to recommend going for the audio, but yeah, really depends on how you like to digest a book. So my third book is Dying to Be Me by Anita Moorjani. This is an amazing must-read book. It only came into my life about a year ago, and I read it and it just blew the lid off so much for me. It really allowed me to liberate myself a little bit and let go of some of the, I don't like to say restrictions, but kind of the rules that I have for myself. And this is basically Anita's journey of cancer. So let me just read this to you. My journey from cancer to near death to true healing. I had the choice to come back or not. I chose to return when I realized that heaven is a state, not a place. This is her journey with cancer and dying, and what she learned through that experience, this near-death experience, and coming back and sharing that with us. So this is Anita's memoir, and it's an incredible book. You have to read it. You have to read it. It will enhance your life in the most beautiful way. The fourth book, we're up to number 4, is The Celestine Prophecy. This book, again, pretty recent, about a year ago, blew my mind, like just changed my life again, like altered my life in another way. It's actually the reason that I booked flights to go on this amazing journey that I'm going on in May and June, because I read this book and I was like, I remember, I need to go there, I have to go, and the opportunity came up, and it was all just perfect, as the Celestine Prophecy kind of shows you. This is a story, it's not a memoir. It is a fiction book, but there is so much truth to it. And as I was reading it, I was like, it's a story, but I feel like there is a lot of truth in this. Like the whole thing, really, it is truth. But yeah, this is a must-read book. It's incredible. Like, it's been around for 20 years. I think this was the 20th anniversary edition, so it's been around for 20 years or just over. A book that comes along once in a lifetime to change lives forever. I don't need to say any more than that. Book number 5, Conversations with God. So this book is so highlighted. I have highlighted so many little pieces throughout this book, and if you were following me on Instagram, you would have seen that when I read this and the Celestine Prophecy, so many of my captions were quotes from these books, because, and the same with Dying to Be Me as well, because I was just so much. There's so many pieces of gold in these books. I've got book 2. I think there's actually 3 parts to this book. I haven't read the other ones. I've only read book 2, so I actually picked this up at a secondhand bookshop for $8, my favorite secondhand bookshop in Burleigh. And yeah, really, really mind-blowing book. When I actually read these books like over the last 12 months, and as that happened, I just felt like my head had been removed, my heart had expanded, and everything was exploding for me, like in the best kind of way, because they all altered my life in a new way and set me on a new path and a new journey. Well, enhanced the one I was already on. So really, really amazing books. Now, I'd like to recommend 3 more to you that are my must-reads. So they are 2 incredible books by Cheryl Strayed, which is Wild, and then Tiny Beautiful Things. Must-reads, you will love them. And then, of course, number 3, probably most people have read this, Eat, Pray, Love by Elizabeth Gilbert. It's just a classic, and it's actually a book I want to revisit. I read it quite a few years ago, and I'd really like to revisit it from the space that I'm in now. It's really nice to revisit books and kind of realize how much you've grown, because you're picking up different things from that book, and you just get a whole other journey out of them. All of these books, like, I'm really looking forward to reading The Celestine Prophecy again. I actually want to read it before I jump on my plane. So that's another book that I'm going to read again. But yeah, I hope that you've enjoyed this, and I think these books will give you a really good starting point and build a really good foundation for your journey, whatever journey it is you're on. But yeah, that's always where I recommend to start if you're feeling lost, if you're needing guidance, if you're needing some spiritual support. Those books are absolute must reads and my go-tos. So thank you so much for watching. Please let me know your experience. If you read one of these books, come back in the comments, let me know what you took out of it the most. If you've got your top 5 books or even your top 3, leave them in the comments below, because I'm always looking for new recommendations. Yeah, let me know and connect with me in the comments. So I will see you again in another video. Much love, and bye-bye.